Greetings, it's Sunday. So it's time for another episode of Family Heritage. My name's Vanessa-Mary and I'm recording this live from Nottingham. If you're new to this conversation, Family Heritage is a new weekly conversation that I'm having around family, business, leadership, well-being, and legacy. So we're talking about the legacy that we will be leaving behind. Each week, I'm exploring stories, some values that I personally share and what I've learned from others, and also the lessons and the experiences that have shaped us become who we are. So I'm going to talk about life. I'm going to talk about business. You'll hear about my own personal reflection, family stories, and some hopefully thought-provoking conversation. So we do look at heritage here, which impacts our decision making, our relationships, and also the future that we're seeking to build for the next generation. Now, it's quite interesting because today, episode 3, I'm going to be talking about the people who guide us. So if you've been following this series, then you'll know that I'm working around the framework of the family principle. And the family principle is actually including some key things, again, topics of discussion. So we've started with say it again, F for foundation. And then the A last week was for ambition. And today the M is for mentorship. Now, before I begin, if you don't know much about who I am, maybe you're just new to the channel. So wherever you're watching this, I am streaming across 3 channels. Then if you're not familiar with who I am, my name's Vanessa-Mary. I am a wellbeing healer and the founder of the Seeds community. I love working with self-employed mums and dads and members of a family-led business. So this could be working with your father, working with your brother, your cousin, or maybe you're working with your best friend in what we would describe as a legal business partnership. I'm having so much fun building the Seeds community, and I will leave the link to our LinkedIn community page here where you're watching it. So if you're curious to find out more about the Seeds community, that's the best place to really get some information about what we're doing. But this is the new show that I've created around family legacy. If you are watching me live and you wanting to contribute, okay, so I'm doing it live on purpose. I could have easily just recorded this privately and then uploaded it, but I thought, no, I love interaction. So if you are watching the live, then please do feel free to let me know where you are watching from. We're talking about the ones who've guided us. So we'll be looking at mentorship today. So if you want to leave a comment on your mentors who've guided your path so far, then do let me know via the comments. And if you're watching the replay, then again, please do leave a comment or a thumbs up because it helps me to know that you are here and it really does keep me motivated to keep posting. So let's get on with this. Right. So we're talking about mentorship today. And before we do go into it a bit further, so some of the mentors that were mentors to me, the names you might know, 2 names that you probably don't know because they were my grandmothers, my late, great, amazing women, my grandmothers. So I've already introduced you to my grandmother Sue, who was my mum's mum. Today I'm going to talk about my grandmother Annie, my dad's mum, and this section of the show is about grandmother's wisdom. So the question I've got for me is, what did grandmother teach me without even realizing? Something that's standing out for me is she would always say, if I cannot give to one, I'm not giving to any of them. Now, this is because my grandmother, she had 6 of her own offspring. So my dad was the eldest, and she had a lot. She's still got all of us, thank God, is still here. Or saying that, my uncle did have. Oh, anyway, I'm babbling, but yeah, she had a lot of grandbabies. Now, one of my uncles, he did have 2 of his babies pass. Okay, so I do need to recognize them, but effectively, I am the oldest grandbaby for my grandma Annie. So altogether, I think there's over 30 of us, which is absolutely enormous. So often when we do get time to be together, you are correct. There isn't a room big enough. So we're actually spread, if we're in somebody's house, we're spread across several rooms. But because she was a grandmother to such a large family, particularly if it came around about food, money, gifts, things like that. So she would always have to prepare seasonal gifts, like Christmas, over the course of the year. She didn't have like masses of money, so she had to definitely budget. But she was a very principled woman, and she would say, if I haven't got enough for one, I'm not giving to any. So that's how she planned out her present giving. But it was the same with things like, it might have been sweets, it might have been, money, that type of thing. So welcome if you're tuning in live. It is the Family Heritage Show with Vanessa-Mary, and today we are talking about mentorship. So let's move on. We're talking now about the ones who guide us. And I have been taken back to my childhood memories at this point, because I love reading books. And one of my strongest childhood memories is the amount of time that I would spend in the local library. I taught myself to read at a young age, so books have always been a very much part of my life. So when we're talking about mentors, a mentor doesn't necessarily have to be someone who you've met through paying for their coaching services or their mentoring services or their advisory services. A mentor can well be someone who you admire, you love their content, you love their wisdom, and you love to follow everything that they put out. So it might be their podcast, it may be their books, it may be their articles. For me, that individual has become one of your mentors. So I'm just going to introduce you to 2 of my mentors. There's been a few along the way, and I'll talk about other mentors that I have mentored me in the physical, so as I've been growing up. But I'm going to talk about the mentors that I haven't met. Now, one of them, sadly, I won't meet now because he has passed on. Some of you may know him. It's the incredible Jim Rohn, an American philosopher. I find myself sharing Jim Rohn's quotes. Even up to yesterday, I was sharing Jim Rohn's quotes. Here's one of the quotes that he shared, which stayed with me, which is, the book that you won't read will not help you. So as I said, I love reading books. Here's one of his books that I've read, which is The 5 Pieces to the Life Puzzle. I feel that I need to read this again, because the actual energy and the essence of the wisdom that Jim has left in this book, I'm not that familiar with right now as I'm speaking with you. So for me, reading a book, I never read a book once. If I haven't read a book at least 3 times, I don't feel as though I've read it. So I definitely need to read that one again. Before I introduce you to the next mentor, again, if you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, let me know who has been a mentor to you. So someone you would consider has definitely influenced your life, molded your mindset, molded your principles and values, but you're conscious that you've not actually met them in the physical world. And if they are a mentor such as Jim Rohn, who's passed away, so he's physically passed, but his wisdom's still here. There's still lots of audiobooks. So I can remember investing in one of his audio series. I can't remember what it's called now, and that's going to bug me. It's in the car. So when I finish this, I will type it into the comments here. But the story that I'm sharing is the fact that at that point, the investment was £50 or just over £50. And I honestly didn't have the funds. Back then, I was a single mum with my teenage daughter and my teenage son, and that was a lot of money. And I can't remember, how I worked it out. Maybe I saved for it. I really can't remember the details, but I know that within myself, I knew that making that investment was like the biggest decision and the best decision that I needed to make for myself at that time. And I am so delighted that I followed through with that, because that series definitely changed my life. I still listen to it. Some of the words on the it's like recorded from his famous workshops, his seminars. So some of it is like you're listening to, he was in front of a live audience, so you can hear the responses that people were giving him. And some of those seminar sessions, it's almost as though I know word for word what he's going to say. Honestly, I love Jim Rohn, and if you know me, you'll know how passionate I am about his work. But I now want to talk to you about a young man who he is, thank God, very much alive. He's definitely influenced my life. I feel like I'm going to put it down on maybe my goals, long-term goals, to actually be able to attend one of his seminars, one of his events that he holds. Probably would be in America. I've not heard of him doing anything in the UK. So it would mean that I'd need to organize myself. I'd need to travel. It doesn't matter. He is worth it. He is Russell Brunson. So are you aware of Russell Brunson's work? If you are, please let me know in the comments. So this book is Expert Secrets. I do have the other books in the series that he's written there as well, but they are downstairs. And another book that I invested with him was 30 Days. So it says here, you suddenly lose everything, but it's 30 days. This was part of a 30-day challenge. And again, absolutely changed my life. A lot of the marketing methodologies that I've implemented in my own business and that I share within the Seeds community have come from Russell Brunson's teaching. Absolutely incredible. So those two, I thought I would choose someone from the past who's not here, but someone who I have aspirations. So remember, last week's A was ambition. So yes, it's part of my ambition to get myself into Russell Brunson's event in some capacity. All right, so please let me know who has invested in you, either whether it be books, tapes, podcasts, and who's influencing your life. So let's go a bit deeper. Who believed in you? Very interesting question. Who believed in me? Now, this is a good one. And I was thinking about her this week, actually, because in Legacy Ledger, which I don't have a copy of in front of me, and I'm not going to jump up to get it. So if you're not familiar with the Legacy Ledger, that is the business and lifestyle magazine that I have just published. I will put the link in the chat for the digital edition if you've not yet seen it. But I'm now planning issue 2. And the first section is actually leadership and legacy. And in our next issue, I would like to feature, I need to ask her permission. Yeah, hopefully she'll say yes. But I really want to feature a woman who was a massive influence on my life in terms of believing in me, encouraging me, telling me that I could do it. She never saw the broken teenage mom. She never saw the one who people didn't have any confidence in because I was uneducated. I probably didn't show up with the best clothes or, the latest gadgets, of that time. This was in the 90s. She never saw the fact that my little girl literally followed me around everywhere, because if I wanted to get involved in community events or to go to workshops and seminars in those days, I didn't have the childcare around me, she believed in me. And actually, her organization, they specialized in providing childcare within the community so that single mums like myself, or those of us that were on a lower wage who couldn't afford childcare, could get access to facilities for childcare so that we could use that time to go to a training session, to go to the library to read a book, or to attend the college course. And that's exactly what she did in my life. And I ended up giving back to that community. Very important that we recognize who believed in us. So let me know in the comments below who believed in you at any point of your journey. So that particular woman, she was part of my story. She was a mentor to me when I was around about 19, I believe. Maybe no, about 20, because I remember I was pregnant with my son as well. But she encouraged me. She actually, if I was having any moments of self-doubt, she would challenge that as well, and she would remind me. So I definitely know that that early input of mentorship, if I didn't have it, I mean, there are other women that I can probably talk about, and men. In fact, Tony's coming to mind, who was the first one who got me involved in a voluntary sector arrangement. So I'll probably talk about Tony on the next round a bit deeper in terms of mentorship. But these men and women, they believed in me. So tell me, who believed in you? All right, so I think that is it. I've covered some key mentors in my life. Don't worry, I will be coming back on this family principle. So, of course, I'll be talking about mentorship again when it comes back round. So I just want to close here. And I think this is quite a difficult question for me to answer, because it's not one particular man or woman that has shaped my life and influenced me. There are so many that I'm thinking of. So my time in the voluntary sector, my time in my early career, which was in the regeneration sector, my time in education. So I did go on to go to college, to go to university. I did another postgraduate certificate. So, you know, we have mentors that come into our life at different points. So if you're familiar with the saying that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, I would actually say that a mentor could possibly fit into that, because some mentors are not with us for a whole lifetime. If you have a personal coach, for example, if you're listening to this and you are a business owner and you are working with a personal coach, it might not be the first coach that you've worked with. Personally, thinking about it, I might have had more than 5 coaches on my business journey, but I've always invested in the coaching journey, because a coach has gone the route that you want to go. There may be 3, 4, 5 steps ahead of you. So the idea of someone coaching you, mentoring you, is that they're helping you to avoid maybe the challenges, you know, the pitfalls that they've already navigated. So they're actually giving you a blueprint, hopefully to success. I mean, some people do invest in coaches, I notice, and there's not really that much change, but it doesn't actually matter, because you need to figure that out yourself. So please let me know who has influenced you. If you're working with a coach at the moment and you're wanting to give them a shout out, particularly if you're watching this from LinkedIn and you know that they're on LinkedIn, then tag them into the comments section. That will really make their day. In fact, just quickly as I close, she wasn't a coach, she was a healer for me. But you can see that I describe myself as a well-being healer. But one of my first healers, I texted her yesterday and we're meeting up on Wednesday, and I cannot wait to meet her because I needed to let her know that the healing program that, and service, that she, and energy, healing energy that she shared with me, which was about, I'm going to say about 7 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, was so powerful that it's actually activated me and really set me on the path that I'm on now as well. And she knows who she is, and she knows the work that we did. I said thank you to her yesterday in a text, and I cannot wait to catch up with her on Wednesday. So if you're working with a coach, a mentor, a healer, and they're on LinkedIn, then say thank you. Gratitude is so powerful. So as I close out, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. Okay. So again, if you are watching this from the live or the replay, please do let me know that you were here. And I'm going to be back next week. So please do tune in. If you just bear with me, I just need to find my notes for episode 4. So please do come back here. I'm really enjoying this. So next week we're talking about investing in what matters. Wow, that's incredible, because all of our time is an investment. So I'll be talking about different things there. I'll be talking about our time. I'll be talking about our communities. I'll be talking about even the books that we are currently reading, the podcasts that we're listening to. Are these the things that truly matter? Are they going to have a positive impact on where we want to go? And also the legacy that we are building and what we're seeking to create for our next generation. So that's it from me. I trust that I've offered some value to you in some way. Please do let me know that you were here. And like I said, I'm going to leave the link to the Seeds Community LinkedIn page, because that's definitely where you can find out more about what's coming up within the Seeds community. And I hope to see you on that page if you're not already there. So thank you. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.